And
I
then
agree
when you
with you.
transitioned, you know, Overwatch League was the best intention. You know, my parents always say the road to hell is paved with good
This is the part I
intentions.
saw before. Yeah,
That,
this is Overwatch League was so stupid. Basing it off of fucking teams and like cities was a good thing. I don't know why they did that.
that was the Overwatch League, and it
It's so
ended up
silly.
being an albatross.
Mm-hmm.
And then Overwatch 2 was the same thing. And what it boiled down for me, like what sort of
Mm-hmm.
ultimately
That's
broke
correct.
me in my Blizzard career was I got called in the CFO's office, and he sits me down and he says, he gives me a date,
Didn't watch this yesterday.
which at the
This is only the
time was
beginning.
2020
This is the whole thing.
and
So
was
let's
going to
check
slip
it.
to 2021, but at the time it was 2020.
Yeah.
And he said, Overwatch has to make
44.
in 2020. And then
$1 million,
every year
$100 million.
after that, it needs a recurring revenue. And then he says to me,
Jesus.
if it doesn't do dollars,
I'm-
we're going to lay off 1,000 people, and that's going to be on you.
Putting it on his head. Like, you are responsible for 1,000 people. If you don't do this the right way, if you don't make the game this way, 1,000 people get fired. Holy shit. Can you imagine that?
And that was just the biggest fuck you moment I had in my career. It felt surreal to be in that
Yeah, I don't
condition.
know how they do it.
And as somebody who's worked on a lot of games, made a lot of games, you get in these meetings where they're like, Fortnite has
49 is
1,400
a-
people working on
Everybody wants to be
it. If
Fortnite.
you just hire
Of course.
1,400 people
Oh, I
and
haven't
make it
paid.
free to play,
Mhm.
we'll make that money, right? And that was, I had believed I would never work anyplace but Blizzard. I loved it. It was a part of
Yeah.
who I was.
It felt so weird when Jeff Kaplan left Blizzard. It really did. Like, it kind of, it
Bro,
was like,
neodash is even
it
dying
kind of came
more.
out of nowhere.
And I felt I was a part of it.
The new levels
And I literally thought I would retire from the place. I
like
never
almost
thought the day would come.
0.0,
And
0.3
that was it. I was like,
on average.
You just quit after that?
we're
7.
done here. Luckily for Blizzard, that CFO is no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Blizzard is one of the greatest companies in the history of Earth. They've created so many incredible video games.
They were,
It's
yeah.
so difficult
It's true.
to create so many hits, and they were done not by chasing money. They're done by small, incredible teams, the hodgepodge that you
Yeah.
describe, taking big risks and falling in love with the thing they do, and then just chasing it, working extremely hard. And just because you figured out a way how to make a lot of money doesn't mean it's not at the core this incredible creative journey that's incredibly difficult to pull off. And just because you got a bunch of really smart creative people who have somehow figured out how to pull it off multiple times in a row doesn't mean you can just treat it like a machine every single time.
That's the problem, is that they get people in there in the finances especially that don't really have any respect for the creative process, and they don't really care about any of that. They just want to make as much money as possible. And, you know, you get somebody like Bobby Kotick running the company. That's very clearly what happened. And also, Bobby Kotick was successful in that. Like, he made the stock number go up a lot, right? It's not like he wasn't successful.
It's this beautiful journey of a hodgepodge of weirdos working together, and weirdos have to run that thing. If you ever have a chance to create something special, you have to have weirdos at the helm.
True.
And at the degree to which you don't have weirdos at the helm, creative minds at the helm, and you're a business person at the helm, get out of their way. Right, you can't.
Yeah, this is like the Steve Jobs thing about how the people that usually get promoted
They just-
regularly, like with
this
more
tr-
frequency, are not product people, but they're sales people, because like products have a ceiling, but sales doesn't in the same way.
You cannot
that's
have
true.
the meetings like you're describing. And I don't just speak about this particular company. It's just the entire
Just in
industry.
general.
There's so much joy to be had if we keep creating great games. And I just hope we get to see those great games.
Not going to happen.
I think there's a
Not gonna happen
message
with a
to
company like that.
creative people out there,
It's
and
impossible.
people who make stuff. We're so focused on the love of the craft that we get lost in it, and we love doing it. And we're not cutthroat, and we don't have that kind of ambition. We have a different kind of ambition. But there's this whole world, especially as soon as you're lucky enough to have success, that are very cutthroat and very ambitious. And for whatever reason, we keep
I need to get better at
ourselves
that.
to them. And
I'm pretty
we
bad.
need to stop giving ourselves.
This is a very good point. I think that a lot of companies, they expand very fast whenever they have success because they want to multiply.
Let me actually
success
just
and
try
be
to-
even more successful and make even more cool stuff. But I think sometimes in doing so, they end up basically making a deal with the devil where they're locked into, you know, making a huge amount of money, and now they have to do things with their games that are consumer unfriendly or player unfriendly in order to meet those deadlines, in order to meet those payments and, you know, like payroll basically.
Warcraft, when we made it, there was no CFO at Blizzard.
Yeah.
You don't need a CFO to make World of Warcraft. You need artists, engineers, designers, producers, and
True.
an audio team.
You don't need to bring in, just because you're making a lot of money, it doesn't mean you need to now start adulting by bringing in a CFO.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can figure it out.
And there are great finance guys. Like, I've worked with finance guys who get it and get out of the way and respect, and they're gamers, and they sort of understand. But like,
It's
I
crazy
wish
how
developers would understand their own value more
literally
and stop
10
handing the
seconds.
golden goose to people who don't deserve it.
Fucking true, honestly. Like, I think this is what happens with a lot of companies where somebody takes over that doesn't really understand the actual minutia of the job, and then it just basically declines over time. He's totally right about that. Golden Goose, what's that? The ability to create a good product regularly on a regular basis, obviously.
How painful was it to say goodbye?
It broke me.
I bet.
I
I'd be
think
sad.
after you've been at a place like Blizzard, which I love Blizzard. To this day, I have nothing but warm, fond memories. I mean, there's those moments where you're like, I wish that hadn't happened, but on the whole, that place is mecca for game development, and everything
was.
I have
Yeah.
is due to Blizzard. They provided for me and my family, made me the person I am. So separating from Blizzard was one of the most painful things, and I was very sad when I resigned, and I didn't realize how broken I was until recently. Like, the morning grieving I had gone through of like, I think I'm a little fucked in the head for not being there how could I give that up? How could I not be there anymore? It was really, really painful.
I think that also, like, it's like a toxic environment where I think creative people become even more
How did I
toxic, and,
accident-
like, it basically like turns their creativity against themselves. I think that happens very often as well. Why did he resign? Because he was being put, like, he was basically saying, like, you have to meet these player numbers or we're gonna fire 1,000 people. Like, these, like, crazy, dramatic, extreme punishments for him not being able to deliver ever-increasing numbers of player count or revenue or something like that.
Leaving.
That's the reason.
Can we just speak
Seems
to...
that way.
I don't know. I
Don't
don't
mind
think
me.
we can give enough love to Blizzard. It's a legendary company. For me personally, for everybody, for millions of people, created some of the greatest games ever. Warcraft, StarCraft universe, Diablo, WoW, Overwatch. What made it such a legendary game company? Just looking back at the whole of it.
The start is Mike, Alan, and Frank. It was run by 3 gamers. They were all 3 of them programmers. They made the games before they just ran the company. So they knew.
That's the reason why I wouldn't want to run a game company. It's because I don't make games. How can you possibly run a company about making games if you've never made games? Like, I'm a very big believer in the person with a leadership position has to have a strong understanding of the subject matter. They
what
have
each
to
of
get
us
it.
as developers
If they don't get it, they're
beneath
going to have
them
big
were
problems.
going through, and they protected us. They shielded us from all of the nonsense. And even when they would align with a business person, they had
Yeah.
a COO in the early days named Paul Sams. And Paul protected us. You know, they found great people who
Yeah.
got it. The company when I joined was like 95% developers and like 5% operations. It's when I left,
And
it was
now it's like the
you know,
opposite almost, probably.
50-50, and that's like
Yeah,
a 4,500 person company.
The fuck do you need half those people that aren't even developers there? What the fuck are you doing? Video games? Wait, we're supposed to make video games here? Oh!
That
What do you mean?
love of the games and
Oh,
the
that's pretty
respect
bad.
and good treatment for game developers really turned it into the place that it was. Just the commitment to excellence, the high quality bar, and then finding these passionate people like Chris Metzen
Yeah.
or Sam
Remember him?
Didier. They were like the visionaries of early Blizzard, Alan Adham, of just these worlds that we're still making and we're still playing in today. It was infectious and it was inspirational, and you wore the Blizzard blue with an esprit de corps. Like, you felt proud to be part of it. And
Working at Blizzard was like a huge dream job for anybody that was involved with game dev. And I think it really was until, like, I don't know, probably the sexual assault scandal or abuse scandal or harassment,
Damn,
whatever
that's
you want to call
very
it.
fast.
Like that, until that happened, I feel like Blizzard definitely had like a huge amount of notoriety to it. And this is like especially like in 2011, dude, anybody getting into gaming wanted to work at Blizzard. Like Blizzard was the place to be.
It's possible to do it
like you had
faster.
made it to be there.
Shows I can even do it faster than
Everything you did wanting to respect and honor those who had come before you. I know it sounds almost cheesy saying it that way, but
It's
it
not.
really had that sense
Yeah.
of reverence. Like, you knew you were part of something special. You didn't take it for granted.
Yeah, that's the sense. Reading everything, that's the sense
I think
got.
that's like what he's saying is there's a little bit more to that, I think, too. Like, at least I would say is that I think that a lot of people, whenever they get involved with media now, they treat it as if it's like their turn to change it. And I think that they view it as like they have control over it rather than they are the stewards of it. And like basically, like instead of looking at it as like it's now your responsibility to maintain this piece of media in a way that, you know, upholds the values that people want to see, it more or less is now it's my turn to be able to do what I want with it. And it's like you just think about like that mentality shift is like 180 degrees, completely different. And like you see it's like Star Trek, yeah, exactly. Like I mean, how many times like haven't you guys noticed like whenever somebody gets like a director or, you know, like a filmmaker or somebody that's creative
pretty
gets
close to
control of
the
something, and
camera
there's
now.
such an obvious difference whenever somebody tries to make another really good version of something versus when somebody tries to do their version of it. And I think that's the problem.
But everybody that was a part of it, that truly honored that time. Just to
Like Witcher.
just to
Yeah,
take a
exactly,
small
Witcher.
slice. What were some of the brain?
Bro, I think I know
You
that,
gave
but
so much love to so many people on the team.
it's
but I
just
gotta ask
super
about
hard.
Metzen, who I would, by the way, love to do a podcast with at some point.
Yeah.
What
Pretty
were the
much.
brainstorming sessions with him like? It seems like those are pretty
Pretty
like
intense
awesome.
guy. Yeah.
They were the best. Like, you could walk into a room. Like, the way I would work with Chris is early on when I was more junior, it was just sort of getting creative direction from him. Hey,
Yeah,
Chris, I'm
sure.
about to work on this zone called Westfall.
Oh.
What are your
heard of that.
ideas? You know, how could I capture them in gameplay? Well, that won't quite work. How about like this? It was more like
Yeah.
that.
That's smart.
Later on, like I still remember the first discussion I ever had with Chris about Wrath of the Lich King.
Which,
I went
by
up,
the way, you know what that implies? That conversation implies? It implies that they basically gave him autonomy to make decisions for himself, which is like that's huge inside of a company, especially whenever you have like so many moving pieces. You have to be able to do that. If you can't do that, it's gonna fall apart.
to his office, like, hey, we're finally doing it. We're doing the Northrend expansion.
Yeah.
You know, what excites you about Northrend?
Trent, you went back for reassurance. Yeah, exactly.
That's all you had to say.
They trust you.
And he would draw a map, and he'd start pulling up old like Warcraft 2
yeah.
and Warcraft 1
The manual,
manuals,
yeah.
and showing you like pictures he and Sammy had drawn, and like
So
maps.
he did the same thing that I've done on my stream, except for he's the one that actually drew them. That's good.
And all of it, he
Fucking
would
based.
just go on for an hour,
Yeah.
and then I would sort of digest. I just listen, taking
I still have
constant
them.
notes. I'm photographing his whiteboards all the time, and then I go back and start to put those into design flow of like, okay, what's a zone, what's a dungeon, what could be cool, what should come first,
Yeah.
what should come last. Lich King, for example, we wanted to try a very specific design to counter a problem we had in Burning Crusade, which is everybody entered through the Dark Portal through Hellfire Peninsula.
I remember this. This was so bad. And that they even explained this very clearly. They said Howling Fjord and Borean Tundra are on the opposite sides for a reason. I remember this so well.
All the server programmers hate you because everybody loads into the same zone at the same time. Lich King, we split them
Why
up
do you think Hyjal and Bashir were the same way?
for better player flow. Plus, it's
Yep.
more interesting. The more choice you have, Sid
Massive
Meier
crash
says
out.
games are a series of interesting choices. So we give him 2 starting zones, but that was the flow with Chris. And so often we would just like, okay, in that first meeting, Chris had put a zone called Grizzly Hills on the board. Well, I don't know anything about Grizzly Hills.
Oh, I like
Hey,
that.
Chris, talk about Grizzly Hills.
This is one of my favorite zones.
If you didn't interrupt him, he'd just go for an hour, and you have no idea how much of it like he had pre-thought about or had existed in previous lore.
It's just riffing,
and how much
just
of it
making this shit up.
he was just making up on the spot. He's just that charismatic and captivating.
Creating these worlds and being able to
Yeah.
brainstorm through them and together. I mean, that is
There's even that
as a
possibility.
consumer of those worlds,
Like,
you
you
can
don't
take
even-
it for granted.
Yeah.
They're incredible, but like you're crafting them. Like you're looking at a blank sheet of paper, and then together coming up.
My job, as I
The good
saw it
days,
working
yeah.
with Chris, was I had to on World of Warcraft specifically working
Okay.
with Chris.
An important one.
Is I was like the translator into gameplay of what Chris wanted, how to get it to play like how Chris wanted. So my favorite stories we're working on.
See, like that's the kind of responsibility and relationship that like two people have to have absolute trust and respect for each other for it to work. Because like if you have the person like because you have such a different skill set than that other person, and like vice versa, that you just have to understand and like accept that this person is also a top performer. You are a top performer. Nobody is like the winner or the loser, and it's just about figuring out how to do it the right way. That's crazy.
Burning
W
Crusade,
partnership, yeah, exactly.
and
Trust
we're in
the
this
process,
meeting, and Chris is like, he's the gentlest, sweetest guy, but because he carries himself with such confidence and everybody's in awe of him,
Oh
the
my.
junior developers get
I
kind of
literally had an
intimidated by
opportunity.
him. So we're in this
Makes
meeting
sense.
and we're talking about Silver Moon City because we're
Yeah.
introducing the Blood Elves, and Chris is like, in Silver Moon City, it's got the tallest fucking tower in all of Azeroth. I mean, it is the tallest thing. It's mind blowing. The
I didn't
awe
know
of
that.
it. Only the Blood Elves could build it.
Makes
Fast
sense.
forward like 2 weeks later, I'm walking through the
Dubai
hall,
is Silverman City.
and I see a bunch of level designers and artists. They're all like crowded around the screen, and on the screen, they dragged Blackrock Mountain and
Guys,
Karazhan
No, they're not comparing, are they?
and the Stormwind Cathedral.
They're comparing.
I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they're like, well, Chris said that the
It's the
Silver Moon
tallest point.
Tower had to be the
Has to be
tallest
the-
thing in World of Warcraft.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Blackrock Mountain is like a natural form.
And so we're measuring how tall all of these other things are so we can make the tower taller.
See, that's something. The kind of person that does that, there's a special kind of person that does that. And that kind of person is very special. Yeah.
I'm like,
it's passionate.
guys,
Yep. They are.
Chris doesn't know how tall the
Yeah.
burning steps,
Uh-huh.
and the cathedral in Stormwind
Yeah.
is. What Chris means is just
One
make the
step at a
tower really fucking tall. You
Yeah.
don't need to measure it. And they're, oh, okay, that's
Oh.
okay.
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to take the heat? I'm like, I'm willing to take the heat on this one, guys.
Yeah.
Respectable.
It's just a feeling. It's
Yeah.
a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Yeah. And I also just personally have to give all the love in the world for the current Diablo 4 team, because I've spent
Come on, Lex, bro. Like, can't you just play PoE like a normal person? What are you doing, man? Like, come on. What is wrong with you?
most recently out of the Blizzard games.
Oh.
Spent a huge amount of time in Diablo, and they've created some, and it's not just the loot.
Ah.
All right, it's the whole experience, the art, everything together.
Look, it's not a bad game, but I can't, dude.
And the season they've created a really wonderful world. So
He's
I
glazing. I
could
get
see,
it.
I
I
could
get it.
feel how much effort goes into that.
They're crushing it. And I think
Yeah.
Diablo 4 in like modern times is one of the best worlds that have built, and they know, they understand Diablo players. Like, that community is so hard and so demanding, and
He's seen the
that
videos.
team is amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of richness. It's like it's really, I mean, I don't know how often you get that, but it's really the perfect Diablo game. They've really like evolved.
That was
a
a
lot
really
and
good
grew a
champ.
lot. So there's this whole mathematical.
I will tell you that. Like, I'll tell you that definitely Diablo 3 is like much better than Diablo 4 is much better than Diablo 3. I mean, he's right about that. I just don't really think it's. I could talk about Diablo 4 and how bad it is for like 3 hours. I'm just gonna skip it. Like, I think PoE 2 is just like way better. It's like it's just better in every single way. It's not even remotely close. I don't know why Lex is trying to do this. I have no idea.
Component of
Yeah.
just so many numbers everywhere, and it's all balanced really masterfully. And then, of course, you have to come up with new content with the seasons, and they figure out
Yeah.
ways to do that. So, and a crazy pace,
Yeah,
and still make it super fun.
they're a great live team. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me personally, like I said, the couch co-op experience has been really like that aspect.
The
of it
cinematics
is
are really
great.
good?
Just all of it.
Okay.
It's one of the greatest games in recent history. One of the things I wanted to mention, because this is
Look, I guess if you're a casual player, Diablo 4 is not bad. Diablo 4 is not a horrible game. It's not a horrible game. I just, like, as a more hardcore player, like, I just tremendously prefer PoE 2. But I thought about playing Diablo 4 again.
powerful
That's
speech
just my opinion.
is sort of, instead of doing some kind of corporate goodbye as you were leaving Blizzard,
Yeah.
you allegedly shared with your team a video of David Bowie giving advice, and people should go watch this clip. But if I may
Why you should
read
never
it,
play to the gallery?
Bowie says, "Never play to the gallery. Always remember that the reason that you initially started working was that there was something inside yourself that you felt that if you could manifest in some way, you would understand more about yourself and how you coexist with the rest of society. I think it's terribly dangerous for an artist to fulfill other people's expectations. I think they generally produce their worst work when they do that."
Streamers are the same way. They are. They're the exact fucking same.
And the other thing I would say is that if you feel safe in the area that you're working in, you're not working in the right area. Always
Damn.
go a little
Damn.
further into the water
That's big.
than you feel you're capable of
Jeez.
being in. Go a little bit out of your depth. And when you don't feel that your feet are quite touching the bottom, you're just about in the right place to do something exciting.
Damn.
Speaking of which,
Bro, he sounds
You
so
are-
depressed.
just about in a place to do something exciting after leaving Blizzard. You told me that you tried to take some time off.
Yeah?
How did that work out for you?
Not so well. My wife.
I
was-
couldn't imagine myself taking a lot of time off. Like, give me 1 second, I use the bathroom. But, yeah, time to collab and do something exciting. On should relax. I'm not talking about myself. I mean everybody else except me. I'm back. Relax. Calm down. We're good. It's okay. All right.
Wonderful. Told me I needed to take at least a year off, and
A
just
year.
I've been going really hard. I'd gone
It's a long
19
time.
years, barely taken vacation.
Oh, nice. I
And I
got a
let
link.
Blizzard consume me, and
Yes. Okay,
I
this
was
is good
crushed
enough
by
for
leaving
the next.
because I loved the place, and I didn't know what to
Finally,
do with myself. I
remember
was
that was
pulling
actually.
weeds in the backyard.
Literally gardening.
Yeah, well, she won't let me
Damn. They had him down bad.
garden in the garden because that's hers, but
Okay,
I wanted to
for-
pull the weeds.
Right.
So
So you're the
Okay.
Animal Crossing villager? That's great.
I got very good at that. I was very proficient.
Wow.
And then of all things, I cracked out on
Yeah.
Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War,
One else.
and I unlocked Dark
Do
Net
it.
Ultra, which I'd never. That's like a
Oh.
crazy achievement to do in that game.
Mhm.
So I
Oh.
did that,
What the
and then
hell?
I just
Oh, I hate.
I couldn't help it. Like it's how I'm programmed. It was like at this point it's late spring, early summer, and I'm just sitting in the backyard.
Sorry, guys. It's definitely.
And I just started writing with Notepad about here's a game I want to make. And it was so terrifying because for 19 years I had worked with the greatest developers I thought in the industry.
Yeah.
And there'd be moments where it's like, okay, I want to do like a game world map. Like, hey, Aaron, you're amazing at making game world maps. Like, you do that, and I need some story hooks. Hey, Chris, what do you think would be cool here? Like, it,
Yep.
it's so collaborative, and I was surrounded by the best of the best, and there I was by myself, and I was out there again. And I loved it. It brought all the joy of game making. I thought games were no longer fun to make because it was only
Like
about
corporate?
business.
Yeah, corpo shit.
And somebody's asking me for unreasonable amounts of money and unreasonable amounts of time. And I had forgotten the pure joy of the craft of making games.
This is the reason why I think indie games are outperforming AAA too, is because there's a passion to it that I think that really, it's kind of like it's like 90% like kind of the actual work, but then like that 10% passion kind of ends up tying everything together.
And
Actual games, not a product. Yeah, exactly. Like it's the creative pursuit of it.
I was designing, I was going
I think
on, I was
making
watching
YouTube videos is the same
videos
way.
to learn Unreal
So at a much
and
lower
Adobe
level.
Illustrator and all these things to like help me make games,
Yeah.
whatever, Blender. I had no right to be doing any of that, and it just felt so amazing to do it. And I sort of realized I came to two realizations. One, I never want to work for someone else again. I never want to create something and then have somebody take my baby away from me.
Yeah.
That's really hard when that happens, and it's sort of happened a few times now, where you have to just let something go that you created. And I wanted it all to be focused
That's sad.
on the craft
I wonder
of
if the other ones
making
are.
games.
In his mind.
Art, programming, design, audio. Like just not about the bullshit of the games industry. I'm not interested in the games industry. I'm
Yeah.
not interested in the business of games.
Exactly.
I'm not interested in the entertainment industry.
Fucking exactly. Especially
I'm
the
gonna
entertainment
try the
industry.
North.
People
I don't know
who wanna
what.
get into it. Failed art students and people that are too ugly to be actors that want to take their theater projects and turn them into a video game.
Wait, this is the
Please.
actually.
Stop. Stop it. We don't want it. It has to stop.
It's
Ugh.
just
Ugh.
game jamming,
Yes.
making stuff that we're gonna play together.
They think they're Kojima. They are.
And around that time,
Yeah.
the
Kojima.
I call him my
Failed art
development
students? Yeah.
soulmate. There's a programmer named Tim Ford. He reached out and he's like, hey man, he was like associate tech director on Overwatch at the time. He's like, yeah, I don't think I can do this anymore. It's just not like it was. I just handed in my notice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa,
Damn.
well, if you want to do something together, like, fuck it, let's take a stab and, just see what happens. And Tim
Oh, the
came
battle
over
of
to my
life.
house, and well, before that, he says, my last day's on Friday, and my exit interview's at like 1 o'clock. I'm going to be over to your house at like 2 o'clock that afternoon.
Damn.
And I'm like, well, don't you think you should take some time off, Tim, before whatever's next?
So
for
he
you?
just
Take
wanted
a
to
month
leave.
off,
Yeah.
Meg, his wife, will appreciate it, just go pull weeds in the garden for a while.
Yeah, bro. Like,
And
finish your
he's
interview,
like,
immediately go to another place.
I'm a programmer. All I'm going to do is program for a month. If I take a month off, I might as well start programming our game. Which,
Brilliant.
it was so awesome when he said that.
Man, bro, like that is a guy you want on your side, bro. Like, damn.
Brilliant.
Damn.
He came
bro,
over
like, wow.
and
That was
I pitched him this idea for a game, and I pitched
Our
him,
game.
let's start a company.
It's a real G,
And that was it. Like, that was the birth of us making a studio.
Now, meanwhile, as far as the outside world is concerned, you've disappeared off the face of the earth.
Smart.
But you were actually
Really smart.
working on a game.
Yeah. I needed to be away from the world. I needed to not have I wanted to not get attention from anyone. I needed to not read my name on Reddit or
Fucking exactly. Yep.
any internet site. I wanted to not come up. Let some other Jeff Kaplan bubble the top of the Google,
Yeah.
search list.
You know,
What
our,
studio? So he's making a game called Legends of California. I think that's what it's called. And if you can believe it or not, it's actually not about an HR department trying to figure out how many genders there are. It's a Wild West game. And actually looks pretty good. And it's like a survival, kind of like a Wild West Rust style game. And I think it's being published by Dreamhaven, which is Mike Morhaime, the previous president and original owner and founder of Blizzard. One of the three co-founders. When he said Mike earlier, that was Mike Morhaime. I think it's being published by Dreamhaven. I'm not sure about that. I just saw the logo there whenever it got announced, so I'm assuming it's under the same umbrella. So yeah, that's it. Any trailers for it? Yeah, we looked at it a couple of days ago. Not PvP, so not like Rust. Oh, that's the first time I'm hearing that. Somebody said it's like Valheim. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it's like a survival style game like that.
man, Dino Flask is going to be all over this conversation,
Yeah.
right?
Oh god. Well, this one's gonna set him back some time, but I
You
needed
know what to do.
He streamed it today.
I needed
see it.
for none of that to happen. I just needed to be able to like mourn the loss of Blizzard
Yeah.
and create on my own. So it was great. And at that time, like as soon as it was announced that I was leaving Blizzard, I had like 60 people reach out to me. This was April of 2021, and investment
this.
money was nuts, both like
Yeah.
the VC money.
Back then, like, people were investing, like, I'm not even kidding you, like 5x what they do now. It's insane. Like, the amount of money that they were throwing out then, like, this is how, like, a lot of those, like, esports organizations got so much money.
And
Crazy. Like,
the
hundreds of millions
strategic
of
money
dollars.
was crazy. Like especially the Chinese companies, because
Yeah.
apparently they weren't getting publishing numbers in China or something. The whole economy was crazy.
Black Myth Wukong fixed that.
And so just everybody was trying to throw money at me, which was a very good
That's nice.
position to sort of be at to start a company. So what Tim and I did was say, we're not doing this for money, but here's the game we want to make, and it's going to take this many developers, and we think it's going to take this length of time, and that means the budget is this, and we need, for any of these people who want to invest in us, we got to hit that number, but after that, we're not going to go for more money. It's not an auction to raise as high as we can go.
And that cuts out a lot of the traditional investment, too.
We're going to optimize for control.
Man, and that's good also, because like optimizing for control also means that you can control the trajectory up and down. I think that's a huge factor, because a lot of people never consider that. They never think about the fact that, well, if you do this and then everything kind of just gets a lot worse, then how are you going to control that? This is from Lex Friedman's podcast with Jeff Kaplan. Like, the whole thing
Bro, I
is
used
5
to
hours
think it
long.
was
I'm
a
planning
not
on watching the entire thing.
like a literal
But I
one.
wanted to give you guys a clip of it and look at a little
I
bit
don't
of it
really
because
think
I thought it was
are
interesting to
North.
watch. So watch the full
For
video.
some reason, like
Relax,
he
relax,
interviewed
dude.
Kanye
That's
West. I
crazy.
thought
A 5-hour VOD? I don't think a 5-hour
did pretty
VOD is going to
badly.
happen, guys. I'm sorry to say. As much as people want that, it's just not for me. And 5 hours, though, I mean, that's the whole stream, right? That's my entire fucking stream. And so I don't think I would really do that, but I will look at one other thing. I might as well, right? I haven't done that for a while. And will you become a rival? Maybe, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't think that there's going to be... I will probably watch, honestly, I will probably watch another one, like, maybe tomorrow or something like that. Like, because Jeff Kaplan obviously was, like, one of the OGs, right? He's been one of the OGs for a long time. So I do respect him a lot. If you want to show Tiggle, for people that don't know, that was hilarious. Oh, God. What is this? Can I pull this up? I haven't seen this.
Along with the 8 snakes, whoever came
Oh, dude, this is the email he sent to Blizzard that turned out to be his application to be in World of Warcraft.
up with this sheer fisting of an encounter can go fuck themselves.
Yep.
Do
Oh,
me a
man.
favor so I don't waste my guild's time on this kind of jackass shitfest again. Send me an email at tigo@legacyofsteel.net.
Not Blizzard EverQuest? Yeah, but I think, didn't he send another email like this to Blizzard complaining to them, and then they ended up hiring him afterwards? I think that's what it was. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, this is Jeff Kaplan from literally 30 years ago, or 20 or 30 years ago, something like that.
When you decide to A, implement an encounter that was designed by...
Okay, so this is by a retarded chimp. This is him mauling at the EverQuest developers.
Get a quality
Okay, I got
assurance
it now, right?
department. Actually beta test the fucking thing and depatch it live.
Damn.
And please, for God's sake, do it in the order I laid it out for you. Don't worry, I won't charge you a consulting fee on that one. And good luck, you might as well pull your heads out of your asses while you're at it. Rename the game to Beta Quest, since you've used up your allotted false advertising karma on the bizarre and user interface scam of 01.
Of 01.
Oh, fuck that.
Bro, literally 25 years ago. A
I think
25-year-old crash out still preserved on the internet today.
It's so funny.
Wow.
God, that is so fucking funny.
You gave a lot of
Wow.
specific ways that the game could be.
Absolute fucking legend. Jesus, bro. Like, I'm so happy to say it's an internet relic. Yeah, it is. I'm very glad to see it happen.
I really needed to do, but then like either way I was screwed. Generational. Bro, it's That would have actually doesn't work. So it is possible. I think it's super hard. London. I can't. That's pretty go office. top 50. So late night. Getting actually I get it. Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy. But I just a bit lower. I don't know why then. dice. Down to but that's still one point. Because a regular alchemist doesn't have now I have a I need one hyper not even top one. Depends what you mean by that by but in